And executive Albert Reid says that imagination is a muscle, an essential part of our being that we need to keep in shape and nurture.
In his book, the managing director of Condé Nast Britain explores the genesis of ideas from people like Thomas Edison and Steve Jobs to see how imagination has evolved. The book is called The Imagination Muscle, Where Good Ideas Come From and How to Have More of Them. And author Albert Reid joins us now. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. Nice to see you.
We appreciate you joining us here. So you make a point here that, we think of our world as perpetually changing, lots of new ideas coming in, but a lot less has changed in the physical world, at least, compared to, say, 100 years ago. So what has changed when it comes to ideas in the modern time?
Well, the point that I want to make in the book is that we should think of the imagination differently. The imagination is something which we think of traditionally as something bestowed on you from above. And what I'm really trying to say is the imagination is something that you can work at in the way that you work at your physical health and your emotional well-being. So you can work at the imagination. It's something you can develop. It's a muscle. It has the qualities of something that can be improved, flexed, strengthened. And that's really the central idea behind this book.
I like it. So, of course, my next question would be, how do you develop your imagination? Are there sort of steps and things that we can be doing to help move things along?
Yeah, there definitely are. And I cover a lot of points in the book. One of them is embracing the beginner's mindset. Particularly as we get on in life, where our minds become, in a way, congealed by experience. And one of the great important things that the great imaginative minds in history show us is about being a beginner in another space. You keep those synaptic pathways open. I mean, let me give you an example. A lot of the Nobel Prize winning scientists were interested in arts and were indeed artists. If you think of Alexander Fleming or Einstein or Isaac Newton. So having something else going on in your life where you're starting out comes back to help you in the world you're in where you might be more experienced. And that's one way of keeping your mind fresh.
It seems like so many of the great ideas come, at a certain point of life. You think of Steve Jobs and all these artists and all these, people in their 20s or even their teens. What about people in middle age? How do, people in their 40s, 50s, 60s, how can they cultivate some fresh, new, good ideas?
Well, again, it's about being a beginner. It's about having something in your life where you're just starting out, and that sense of open-mindedness that is so hard to keep, but is so important. I think the other element where we can learn from people like Steve Jobs is to embrace risk and to not fear failure. If you think of Steve Jobs as being, the inventor of the Apple Mac and the inventor of the iPhone, but in between he had many, many failures. He had the G Fuel Cube and the Newton, the Apple Lisa. So these artists and scientists and entrepreneurs, they were perfectly comfortable with failure. And that is something that is very hard to do as an individual, but is very important for success. If you don't fail, you're not succeeding.
That's very, very true. Okay, so I want to ask you about social media because just about every American, just about everybody's on it these days. Do you think that improves your imagination or kills your imagination?
I think the danger of social media, I think it has certain benefits. You can discover things serendipitously through social media. But what it hasn't, the effect it has is on narrowing everybody's views into a common groove of thought. And you find yourself less able to think differently. And I think one of the great important elements is to be able to think for yourself, to read, but to do that, you should read what no one else is reading. You should look at things you find difficult to understand. And really having that individual mindset, which is threatened by social media, is very important for your own imaginative growth.
Yeah, some really good points there. Again, the book is called The Imagination Muscle, Where Good Ideas Come From and How to Have More of Them. And you can get more on Albert Reid's website. There's the information. Albert, thanks so much for joining us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.